Joe Manganiello has some bad news for Dragonlance fans.
No! God, please, no! No!
In an exclusive interview, True Blood actor and Dragonlance enthusiast Joe Manganiello confirmed to comicbook.com that his Dragonlance project was not moving forward. Let's hear it straight from the man himself.
When I presented the pilot to Margaret and Tracy, Tracy really, kind of took a step back and said, Tracy and Margaret were all about it and completely behind it and completely approved. But it really was me getting in there and really fleshing out the world that they built and a world that they hinted at in some places, but didn't really, they didn't shine the magnifying glass on it in the books. And then what it gave me was an opportunity to then go in and really mine all of that gold out that they had kind of left me a map of where the gold is. So it was up to me to really pull it out. And what came out of it was a really fresh take on those novels that was absolutely 100% supported by all of the books. But like I said, I'm taking it a step further in a lot of ways, in the way that True Blood did. And so True Blood was really my model. And of course, I'm writing for my old boss at HBO, Michael Lombardo, and the team at E1. And then E1, they got sold off. So Michael Lombardo was no longer there as I was finishing my pilot. And the people who were real champions of my pilot were no longer there. And so the current regime at Wizards, I think because of the way that Dragonlance was handled last year, the module that they released that was not discussed with Margaret, Tracy, nor I, that failed board game that they released with it. Dragonlance is not a property that they are interested in developing further currently. And that everyone who read the script, there was like the biggest fantasy literary agent in town read it and said these are his words, not mine. He said it was the best fantasy pilot he's read since the original Game of Thrones.
Oh man.
You think about everything that's come in the past 15 years in fantasy. Yeah. He said it was the best fantasy pilot he's read. There was another executive that read it and said it was one of the best fantasy scripts he's ever read. I actually just got an email this morning from a producer who said it was awesome and went on and on about it and wants to send it to the rest of his company and in hopes that I will develop some other IP.
Yeah.
So, I didn't write a script that was terrible. And I could, that could have very well been, pat on the head, nice try.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks for playing. But it wasn't. Everybody agrees that this script is amazing. Calls were made to say, this is what you should be making. This is what you should be doing. And currently it is to no avail. So either somebody's going to come into that company that's going to see the value of it and realize that there is this script that's ready to go that I am electric about. I mean, what I had planned for the first season was going to be mind-blowing. Like I want to make it because I want to see it, and I just want to feel that excited and electric about something. The characters, like the casting, I have a giant lookbook that's like over 1,000 images, and it's not what you expect. The design concepts that I had for the world, for the armor, for the swords, like it's just the dragons. I had a kind of a fresh take on what the dragons were going to look like. It was going to be like nothing anyone has ever seen. And with these beloved characters that are read by, I think Tracy said there's 35 million books in circulation.
Right.
These are established, beloved characters in a New York Times best-selling series. I made it very clear I wasn't adapting the game. I'm adapting these novels, these beloved characters. I'm not starting from a blank slate the way that the movie did. Right. These are characters that people know and love. And so, maybe somewhere down the line, somebody comes back and says, or the whatever, the company switches hands and somebody sees the value. But for right now, and I also offered to buy it. I offered to buy Dragonlance. I was talking to people with funds, with money, to try to get it and separate it, just so that I could get the option and take it out on the town.
And that's a no-go too.
No, they are not interested in developing Dragonlance currently.
Now, Manganiello is probably Dragonlance's biggest fan and has called the Dragonlance novels the Star Wars of fantasy. Manganiello has wanted to make a Dragonlance project for a long, long time, and it's clear that he's put a lot of effort into making Dragonlance a viable Hollywood project for basically his whole career. While Dragonlance was incredibly popular both as a game line and as a series of novels, the franchise has always had its issues. Some of the novels haven't dated well, the Kender has a certain negative reputation, and novel writers Tracy Hickman and Margaret Wise have had their issues with TSR and later Wizards of the Coast over their books. However, the series introduced millions to D&D, and it looks like it will remain an uncut jewel for Hollywood, despite a landscape where even hugely ambitious novel series like Wheel of Time are getting put on TV. Let us know if you think Dragonlance will ever make it onto your television in the comments section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.